Hey guys and gals, it's Frisky Rebel here, and I'm here to talk to you about my new computer setup and specifically the peripheral that I got with it called the RAZER Tartarus V2. Now, this desktop here I actually have set up for streaming, video editing, and gaming. Those are my three primary uses. And this keypad and its functionality allows me to make macros for things like cut, copy, paste, move around, time stops, and all of the weird sort of edits that you can do when you're video editing something and using video editing software. So I wanted to make this review to give you guys a first-hand experience, not just as a user of a keypad, but a first-time user of a Razer product. So I hope you enjoy, but let's get into it. So first off, this is my first Razer product, and I did have major reservations about it. Mainly because of how many things I've read regarding Razer's build quality not being the greatest. But, with a lot of things, don't knock it till you try it. So, given the price that I got this for, here I am trying it out. So, first off, point number one is that I will give credit to Razer. They make a lot of different products, and they innovate making things like these that a lot of other mainstream PC hardware companies simply don't have alternatives for. Corsair doesn't make something like this. MacCat, I don't think, makes something like this. But I've seen Logitech make something like this not be as ergonomic or provide as much value as this one does, but I'm going to get more into that. I was in the market for some time looking for something that was versatile and ergonomic, specifically for the left hand. And I looked at everything. I looked at the FragFX FragChuck. I looked at the PlayStation navigation joystick, the Azeron keypad, and other third-party hybrid options. I even went so far as to buy and return a HoriTac Pro, which I will tell you right now can compete with this in terms of usability and function, but it has three major flaws that don't allow it to compete well. There's one, that is the price. It is over double what this one is. Second is the lack of customization. You get RGB with this, you don't get it with the HoriTac Pro, even the version 2. It just comes in red, that's it. And add-ons, specifically being the mouse. You cannot get the HoriTac Pro keypad without the mouse. And if you're getting something like this for PC, I think getting a mouse that, in my personal experience, doesn't have the greatest build quality, doesn't really feel that good in the hand, you can't even get the keypad at a discounted price. That is going to deter a lot of people from considering a HoriTac Pro as an option, but to each their own. I went and got this Tartarus V2, and I've had it for almost a month. I can tell you that for the software, you don't really need to sign in to save profiles. I've got 2 so far that I'm using, and they're saved, so I don't know about what other issues people have had. I'm using the Synapse, as you can see on the screen here. If I go down to my computer, I have guest profile. That's the default profile that I'm using, and I have options here that I use for MMOs, first and third person shooters. I also use this for Honor, which is a video game made by Ubisoft. I primarily play this game with a controller, but I sold both of my own controllers to eventually get a Pro controller by Fusion A or Power A. I can't remember the company, but they have a Pro controller similar to the Elite Xbox One controller and other scuff game pads. But in any capacity, I tried this. It actually worked great. And these mechanical hybrid keys, let me tell you, these are definitely different. They sound similar to Cherry MX Blues with audible clicks when pressing the keys, as you can hear. I personally, generally speaking, I don't like Cherry MX Blues. I don't like the audible clicking sound. However, it's not as loud as I thought it would be. It doesn't, really bother anybody when it comes to late gaming, unless you're boom, 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 slamming it down at night or something. It's really not that loud. So when it comes to my girlfriend sleeping in the other room, I'm not really bothering her when I'm using this for gaming. I can get companies making their own switches to try to save on costs here and there, but when it comes to the functionality of this keypad, they work well enough. I'm not an esports, sweaty Fortnite, CSGO, aimbotting Apex Predator player, so I don't really care about how many milliseconds I can save. I care about how they feel and if they function well. And these keys do both, so they are good enough for anyone wondering. I have not been able to find a lot of keypads on the market that still give you a spacebar-like button, which is a unique feature. It's nice to have it as an option, and I actually do use it depending on the game. It feels solid, clicks the same as the other keys. I don't have any complaints. The mouse, the wheel here, the scroll wheel, I actually use as volume control. I couldn't think of anything else that I wanted to map on it, but it works as it should. You can actually press it in as well, and I use it to mute my volume. The small button here works as expected, which is good, but let's talk about this directional pad And this is honestly the fundamental reason why I wanted to make this video. Like the first Tartarus, you can make this thing 4 or 8-way directional, but it's not a true analog stick. Don't think of that as a con. It's literally just an alternative, and I'm going to explain to you why. I started out looking at things like the Logitech G13 and the Horitac Pro that came with the true analog stick capabilities, but after using this, I have to say I actually don't care to have them, especially for the prices that they're going for. The inputs are immediate on this thing, so when you're playing any game where movement is fast-paced, like an MMO or a shooter or fighting games, I have to say that this is the better option. I play For Honor, where on a controller, the varying degree of angle can determine whether you walk or run. With this, whether you're using keypad or otherwise, I can map the walking to a particular button. If I want to look cool or something, I can toggle walking in the game, but otherwise I don't really need it. Another example is if I'm playing Warframe, I can use WASD on the keys and use each direction for an ability. So I can have the abilities be, 1 for up, 2 for the side, 3 for the other side, and 4 for down. And the spacebar as ability 5, where the Warframe pilot pops out of the Warframe itself. Or I can do this, and I can do this actually, I can actually enable the abilities while I'm moving with the WASD key. So you're still able to stay movable. You don't have to move your fingers and stop yourself from moving in a direction to just enable an ability. I could even turn this around and have this work as an analog joystick where I can move with this in any direction and I can use these as abilities. So having that versatility to be able to switch it around, I think is very good. Pro tip, regarding the movement, what I found tricky was actually setting it up. So if I wanted to set this up for, a WASD or to emulate a joystick, setting it up was actually a bit difficult for me because of not so much hardware or software, but there wasn't really an explanation anywhere, and I'll just give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So in a first-person shooter like Overwatch, I enabled the 8-way option on the D-pad to mimic analog movement, and it didn't work. I tried setting up macros, I tried to set it up for joystick functions, and it made the movement stick in directions and just not work. I had to put it back in 4-way direction, and I had to map each movement to WASD, so W, A, S, and D. And Synapse, the software, actually made it so that it simply just recognized when I clicked this directional pad in a direction, it would pick up both, it would register both buttons and move me in that direction. So to give you an example, if I move forward left, that would normally be W and A on your keyboard. For W and A here, W being up and A being here, when I put that in a direction, it would register both and I would just end up moving diagonally. So I made it an 8-way directional pad for nothing. I didn't have to map all that. I just had to put this as WASD, and it picked up that when I go in a diagonal, motion for this directional pad, it'll register both. It'll register W and A. For the price, this being $100 Canadian, including shipping, the functionality and the customizations with the RGB, I have personally not been able to find a keypad that provides as much value as this one does. The Azeron has quality control issues, and it's the most expensive at about $230 Canadian. That does not include shipping. The Horitac Pro is around $200 Canadian, and it gives you a spare mouse. For a lot of PC gamers, like I said, they probably won't need that. To have just a keypad that has all the features and customizability that this Tartarus does, I have not been able to find anything else on the market like it for this price. And for that reason alone, I have to confess this is a winner. I am worried about the build quality on this, but I won't be as worried as if I bought the other two for $200+. For anyone considering getting one of these, I actually got mine used on the used market on Kijiji, which is like Canada's Craigslist. We still have Craigslist, but I actually found one on Kijiji. It was like new in box. The guy had it for 3-4 months, still had the receipt, still had the original packaging. He tried it on CSGO and I think he said Destiny, and he just could not get used to having to map everything, and he felt like it was too much work, is what he said. I tried everything there, and it worked flawlessly. There were no scratches, nothing of the sort. This is essentially a brand new product that I got for $70 bucks. I'd still pay the price it demands, which is $90 on Amazon Canadian, including shipping, because of its value. But in any case, that is my review. I hope this helps anyone that's curious. Be sure to like or dislike this video, subscribe if you liked the video and maybe want to see more. But in any capacity, please stay safe during this COVID time, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Cheers, and stay frisky.